Welcome to the Redefining Plastics podcast. My name is Justin Riney. I have a decade plus in commodities, packaging, plastics. I'm an accidental plastics professional. My undergraduate degree is in history. I have an MBA. I'm mostly a layperson from a scientific perspective when it comes to plastics. But this industry is full of smart people, and I listen. I listen to those inside of the industry and out. And this industry has provided me with excellent opportunities for growth for me and my family. I feel like I owe the plastics industry a great deal. And sustainability. This is becoming a big touch point for the plastics industry. And it's been a huge part of the conversation in my time within the industry. And it's also been my primary focus for the last half decade or so of my career. So to me, sustainability is all about balance. I believe we need to view sustainable solutions holistically. We can't just look at end of life. We have to look at the entire life cycle of our products. I really want to leave this world a better place than when I found it, for my children and for their children. That is the primary purpose of me being in the sustainability world within the plastics industry. So what does all this mean for the plastics industry? The current narrative is not great. What I hear when I tell people that I'm in the plastics industry is that plastic waste is a huge problem. I agree. The waste portion of it is a problem. But where I disagree is where the conversation shifts to the failure of recycling or the fraud of recycling that I hear from people. That's just not true. I also hear from people that working for the plastics industry is on par with working for the tobacco industry. It's also not true. Microplastics, something else that will come up in any of these conversations. And this idea that we're consuming one credit card worth of plastics every week. Not sure where they're getting that information. Studies I see show differently. Another part is that plastics are bad from a carbon perspective, that they have a higher greenhouse gas emission than other packaging formats. So what does science say? Caveat, I'm not a scientist. Don't claim to be a scientist. Don't truly want to be a scientist. There are a lot of smart people in the industry, and there are peer-reviewed studies that are out there that prove these things. Recycling is real. It works, but we need to do more of it. We need more traditional mechanical recycling. We need to do advanced recycling globally for hard to recycle packaging formats. I've lived in this space a long time. I've seen the success stories. There are entire industries built around recycled plastics. We need better infrastructure. We need public-private partnerships to grow recycling within the US. The one credit card per week study, it was flawed. And it takes years to ingest that amount of plastic for any human. Furthermore, FDA has approved all chemicals within the plastic that goes into making the packaging and food contact packaging. There are no conclusive studies that show that microplastics negatively impact our health. And they're a fraction of the particles that we take into our body on a daily basis. Plastic packaging is the least impactful packaging material in 90% of applications reviewed based on one study I've seen. So why all this plastic hate? Why are we having this conversation? Why does the anti-plastic sentiment exist? Plastic waste is visible. Plastic waste floats. It is in our oceans. It's in our waterways. It is front and center. You do not see what's under the surface of the water, which is your other materials, but you do see the plastic floating. Human behavior leads to a buildup of packaging waste in the environment. We are not disposing of our packages properly on a global basis. There's a herd mentality, negative sells on the internet specifically. You're 70% more likely to share a negative news story on the internet than a positive one. Consumers, even legislators, and I talk to a lot of legislators, do not understand these issues. What is redefining plastics? Why are we doing this? The ambition of this podcast and my ambition is to have a balanced conversation, a true conversation about sustainability and plastics with leaders inside and outside of the plastics industry. Discussions with innovators, recycling companies, scientists, advocacy professionals, environmental groups, packaging companies, leaders in sustainability like myself. In order to solve the issues facing the plastics industry, we are going to have to listen to and engage with alternative views. We have to be proactive in discussing the benefits of plastics and retake the narrative surrounding our products. Our products reduce greenhouse gas emissions as a packaging material. We lightweight cars for greater fuel efficiency. We extend the shelf life of products and reduce food sent to landfill, which is the largest contributor of GHG or greenhouse gas emissions in landfills. We protect medical utensils and transport life-saving medicines. We make houses more energy efficient. We reduce impact on the planet. Through these conversations, I hope to redefine or help to redefine or reframe the narrative surrounding plastics and truly leave the world in a better place than I found it.